All right, it is another episode of 10-Minute Poker Tips, and we got a special guest today. We got Wayne, who is the producer for Bally Live Poker, and he's got a whole bunch of other stuff going on. Former or maybe current StarCraft champion.
Definitely former.
And he's the inventor of two-hand hold'em, which we're going to hear a little about later. I know you got an interesting topic for us because of your domain expertise in poker streaming with Bally Live Poker.
When you first start poker, everybody thinks, oh, if I just get good enough, I'm going to win all the money.
Right.
That doesn't work like that.
Right.
Along the way, you'll get booted from games, or people don't want to play with you. The other thing you have to fade is cheating. So online, there's card sharing. You don't know if your opponents are backed by the same people. Same thing with live. Live, you have to deal with angle shooting, and live streams deal with the operation because you're dealing with like a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, Brian Arcocky, the director of Live with the Bike and Live with the Commerce, really firm on security. So after the Apostle incident, no one was allowed to see the whole cards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And in emergencies, he had a code to do it, but there's a camera on him. That we took really seriously. And then we increased the delay. The high stakes players that put a lot of money on the table, in order for them to feel good about themselves, we can show them what we do. And
that's important too, because basically not only are you putting on a stream, but you're like a game runner, right? You're trying to attract people to the game. And if they feel like your game is secure, they're not going to come.
Yeah. So, I work with the Bike and Commerce, and they're very keen on security. I have to go through compliance. Both of them are, pretty strict. So Title 31, source of funds, MTL transfers.
Wow.
So there's a lot of stuff that goes behind. Yeah. So to make sure, we do everything we can. If somebody really wants to get through the systems, then, at some point it's not going to happen, but they could get past some for a bit. But yeah, a lot of security is a huge topic, which is why we don't advocate home games.
Right.
Even in the live legal casino areas, people are going to try, and then, the operators and the people have to do everything they can to try to mitigate that.
It does seem like, so many card rooms are already so stringent about security, but it does feel like there's another layer when you're talking about streaming, especially with those incidents, not only with Postle, but then obviously with Robbie and Garrett.
Yeah. So one thing that, I don't want to ignite fires or whatever, but so when they have, cameras moving around and people with access to the real-time hole cards, right now, most streams are doing a trustless system, so nobody can see it, period.
Yeah.
So Brian's homebrew thing now is official. No one can see it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things, if those camera people can if they have information, they can signal things, they just tap, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Just so many things. The dealers, it's illegal to tamper with the shuffling machines. Everything's possible.
Yeah.
That's why, Brian and I are very to the T about whatever the casino wants us to do, then we're just going to do.
Yeah.
At the Bike Commerce a couple of times, but mostly the Bike, I submit a name, and then when they tell me this person can't play, just no questions asked. I suspect a lot of it is source of funds. Very serious matter.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if many casinos get fined for stuff like that.
No kidding.
Yeah. You can Google it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I remember years ago there was that story. I think it was the Venetian, or maybe it was even Bobby's room. I don't remember. It was some dealer had a device in their wrist. You remember about this? And he was scooping the big chips out of the pots. You remember that story? It's crazy, right?
That's one of many stories. So, I've been around for 25 years, and I've been in the esports industry. A lot of stuff I do is just very open. And and I have relationships with the players. They know me. If there's any questions, I'm happy to talk to them about security issues and all these things.
And you talk so much about how, you're ensuring that the operation that you're doing is super secure so the players feel safe. Do you do anything, additional to maybe protect the players from each other?
We can't control what the players do. So part of it is as a game runner and the operation, we need to do due diligence. And then if something isn't right, or maybe it was okay before and not okay now, then we just can't have them on the stream.
Yeah.
Married couples can't be playing together.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's really, in my case, I've been around so long, so I have a lot of friends. They pretty much have to be have a following. I have a bunch of vanilla guy pro friends, or even women. It's they know that and if I really, really need to fill, then I can ask them. But in the end, it's just it's a bad look for them and me, and they all understand. Sean Snyder's one of them, but he lives in San Diego. It's not the greatest look when it's never happened, but just hypothetically, if he's on the stream from San Diego when a ton of people are here at Commerce, and people generally know that good friend.
Do you do anything? I know some places prevent you from bringing phones on the table and stuff like that too.
Yeah, I'll be honest. That stuff's like optics. If somebody really, really wants to cheat, they're not going to do something that primitive. So Brian takes care of the tech side. I take care of the human side. And just if anything like is up in the air, then we talk about it. We talk about it with the house, and then we just make a decision. But in general, that also like the subject matter of the game runner playing on stream, and just maybe like 4 times a year. That's like okay for exhibition. People have asked me to see me play. But the thing is, like, me playing on the stream doesn't move the needle. So like, what am I doing there?
Right.
It gets awkward. I've been very public that No Limit Hold'em live is one of the most awkward forms of poker. You and I know it's nothing personal, but if I stack you like 5 times, everybody feels something.
Yes.
That's
a little awkward.
Exactly. So it's all forms of poker are like this, but especially No Limit Hold'em gets like really personal because like PLO, you can be like, well, you had the massive wrap, I had the top set. Limit Hold'em's like, oh, we're gonna see the river anyway. No Limit's just like, really, you really got aces against my kings like the 7th time in a row. It's like
it is.
So that stuff, it gets really touchy. So I really don't want to enter like No Limit Hold'em spaces, especially deep stack. I mean, I usually, due to my online background, I play 100 BB to 200 BB anyway. But just some dynamic that, in 2015 when Lyman Poker gave me a chance to deal with Live at the Bike, I just made a commitment. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to run this, as an operator and the way that I would want an operator to run it if I was a player.
Right.
Poker players are not controllable. So
they're a tough bunch.
That's the thing, is like you just have to make choices, and they're not all going to be easy. Something like me playing on stream, like I might play on Live in the Commerce like one of these days. But the thing is, like, if I play with everybody, like I'll know everybody. Like if somebody's from out of town who just knows me and hasn't known me for like a long time, it can get, and people trust me, but it's not, the best scenario, especially if I'm like winning all the time.
Right. So last question for you now, how do you keep up with what's kind of going out there in terms of like security, right? So you're doing your research and trying to make sure you're staying ahead of all the people that are trying to, like cheat our game.
A lot of it is paying attention to the news. Doug Polk is going to cover stuff. Matt Berkey, the Solve for Why, Only Friends, it's great stuff. So a lot of these resources, or Poker News, Poker Org, I can't keep up with them in the moment, like scrolling from my computer, but I can always go back to them and then see what's going on. Once again, like Brian and I have been working like a long time, like 10 years now. So I trust he does tech side and I do the player side. Obviously the player side is a bit more touchy because I have to deal with people I can't control. But Brian will just, mention something to me and, put in high consideration and then kind of deal with it.
Yeah, that's good. And it's definitely important, right, to make sure that you, as sort of the authority here, is up to date on all the trends and kind of what's going on.
There's a lot of stuff that's like been swept under the rug. So it's not really my place, especially I wasn't involved in any of the stuff. All over the country, I've like heard stories. Yeah. People will say things to me and they may or may not be true too.
That's true.
Yeah. So it's good for me to hear. And I talk with other operators from the other cities.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. Doug Polk or Sean McCormick. List much longer than that. But anytime something comes up and they may have like relevant information, like we're going to talk behind the scenes.
Well, that's good. So you guys are like sharing info across
exactly.
lines and stuff. Yeah. That's
so
good.
Players that potentially were going to go lodge, and I knew of them more than Doug and Skull Mike did. So
a reference check.
No, I mean, it's really important because if something happens, especially on stream, it's too late. You don't even want to happen on the floor, but like once it happens on stream, it's like too late.
The last thing you want is somebody to pop up on stream and all of a sudden like half the people are like, oh my god, I can't believe they let this person on. It's crazy.
And it's tough because it's like the industry's been around decades, and some stuff may have been murkier, debatable, and then now the etiquette's changed, and it's hard to really definitively say what's right and wrong. So of course I have opinions, but it's hard enough having opinions and running like this domain,
right,
and dealing with outside. Like one of the players here I've known for like almost 2 decades. This happened outside. Like I got dealt my hand, but I didn't post. And I looked at my hand and it was ace king. And I said, oh, I didn't post because I was trying to do like the right thing.
Oh my God.
And he's like, you have to post. You look at your hand. And like, it was an awkward spot. He was like, I don't want to obviously post like mid, but whatever. I ended up doing it. But he said, you're an employee here. You should know the rules, which I don't know a lot of the rules. I have to look them up. Right. But in the employee handbook, it says, the employee needs to know all the rules. So it's like, there's these spots where, for the live stream, there's a lot of rules like I didn't know, and I have to like go back and forth. And even then, it's the first answer, maybe the third answer isn't even like good enough.
Right.
So this just happens a lot. So I'm most concerned about, this area, and then obviously outside, if something comes up, then I'll address as much as possible, but that's not my domain. My rank is not poker room manager.
Right.
So it's a big enough headache to do this, but luckily, I've been around for a long time. Brian Arakaki's been working on the stream like at least 2 more years than me. When I first came on, like he mentored me a lot about what's going on. Then when I became a co-owner, it's like a different level, so talk is cheap. Like getting stuff done. is another layer. And Doug Polk's done a really good job with the lodge because he's faced like a lot of things that I had to face, but I don't have like the presence that he does online. So he could just like just facing and just like talking back to people like, you don't know how it is.
Right.
Let's just say like a lot of the Twitter talk for Poker Talk is like, you have no idea what you're talking about because you haven't done this stuff.
That's exactly right. Tell us a little bit more, about two-hand hold'em, and do you have any incredible lineups coming up for Bally Live Poker?
Yeah, I'm aiming for a big game in March. I actually just texted them a couple days ago, and then hopefully Masato's coming in April.
Oh, nice. Wow.
Yeah, Masato's super popular. He gets recognized on the streets of Japan. Also, there's a Crazy Journey episode featuring Masato, the Garrett Adelstein Masato Phil Lock episode.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that's going on like actual TV.
Oh, wow. I can't wait to catch that one.
And then Two-Hand Hold'em is my baby. It launched in Eric Person's Great American Casino in Tukwila, Washington. It was just south of Seattle. They are literally giving away so many bonuses. $300 in match play, and then every hour they give you $25 in match play. There's a wheel you spin. It's like if you have a promotion, a divorce, or you get married. They just let you spin it anyway.
Wow.
But like, you can get match play there too. Also, in Two-Hand Hold'em, like explained, it's 2 equal antes, but you can put the match play on the stronger hand.
Oh, wow.
And then 8 p.m. to midnight, there's high hand, and you can use all 9 hands.
Oh my God.
Instead of 7 hands. And there's like a referral bonus too. So if I refer you, I get 10% of whatever your deposit is.
Might have to take a flight to Washington to go.
There's a lot, man. Like I'm going to be working with Casman releasing promos, but there really is like a lot. I'm like very grateful he put me in, but also not throw me under the bus and be like, oh yeah, you're on your own. No, I'm going to help him a lot, and then hopefully it'll be in as many Washington locations as possible. Hopefully in California and Nevada coming soon.
Yeah,
but the processes are so long.
I bet. I can't wait for them to come here. But congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Such a successful launch.
Man, it's been a lot of work. So if you try it, good luck.
Well, thank you so much, Wayne, for coming on. We would love to kind of hear all of your thoughts and insights about security, and definitely good luck on Two-Hand Hold'em in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.